Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you want to elevate your golf game and master the art of striking the ball with precision, then you've landed in the right spot. Today we're taking an exclusive look at what a private lesson looks like at the Sanford Golf Academy. As a past student myself, I can personally vouch for the program. Stay tuned until the very end as Jake will unveil some training tips for his student as well as some impactful practice strategies for him. Let's dive into this together.
My name is 𝐁𝐞𝐿. I'm one of the golf instructors here at the Sanford Sports Golf Academy. Today we're taking you into basically what it looks like to take a lesson here at the Golf Academy, what it looks like for the student, what it looks like for the instructor, what the student takes home as value from the lesson. Welcome in, Rich.
Hey, thanks. Good to see you.
So we got Rich in for a lesson today. He's the wonderful volunteer for this, but he's a student that I've had before, but he's also been in the academy, and basically today we're showing you what it's like as a student and instructor to get a lesson here at the Sanford Sports Golf Academy at Great Shots. So,
yeah,
ready to go?
Happy to be here. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so I always start out right away. I just want to watch the student hit some balls. So whether that's warming up, if they get here a little bit early, that's fantastic. But as an instructor, I walk around basically from all angles, talking to the player, watching the player hit. I'll also be asking him some questions, basically his background. You know, why does he play the game of golf? What's he want? What's his goals? Inevitably, that's why he's here is whether it's something even from anywhere from the mental side, the physical side, hitting golf balls better, as we all want to, putting, chipping, anything. Try to cover it all if we can. But that's where you got to be, I guess, up front with me, and I'm going to be up front with you, and we're going to have great dialogue.
I got it, yeah.
Sound good?
I got lots of questions.
So how long have you been playing golf?
Since right after college, I started playing a little bit more, but baseball and softball, competed with it for time, and then eventually, a few years out of college, I quit baseball. A few years after that, I quit doing softball, joined a league, and been playing golf probably, I guess I got almost 40 rounds in last year.
Good for you.
So
quite a few. So you say like you're now playing more competitively, you're taking golf a little bit more seriously.
Yep.
So what's the goal? What's like, why are you here?
So I found that I really enjoy the golf industry, and I want to become a PGA professional.
Okay.
Kind of unconventional, but I want to be able to pass the playing ability test at some point, which I've heard you need to get like low single digits in order to have a chance at it. And I've sniffed up like a handicap of 4 or 5 a couple times, but it's just the consistency isn't there. It just doesn't travel.
Yeah.
Like I think if I were to go to other courses, I'd probably play to more like an 8 or a 9.
Okay.
I'm not reliably going to shoot in the 70s if I go to a different course.
Right.
So there's just, yeah, I feel like I just need to have a better idea of like what I should practice in order to continue to progress.
Gotcha. And so let's just say single digits, like shooting in the 70s, more consistent than anything. Mm-hmm. Probably be a big benefit to that. But that's cool. You kind of got an underlying goal is to almost a little bit of work related background of why you want to play golf better. That's really cool. And so in your game, like, you know, you say your game doesn't travel, so you like hit it a little bit left, a little bit right. But how would you say the rest of your game is as far as like breaking it down into driver, irons, wedges, short game, chipping, putting type? If you're going to go play at whatever course that you can, you know, your home course, what does it kind of look like?
My home course is probably not the best home course to get really good at golf because it's so wide open. So kind of just spray it all over the map and get away with it. Hit the driver a long ways, getting straighter occasionally. Last year I was really fighting the hooks quite a bit.
Okay.
Got fit for a new driver, and it hasn't been going left really as much lately, so that's nice.
And history for that, you said you went from a slicer to now being a hooker or drawer to the golf ball.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of been the progression is now I'm in this phase where it's like, okay, I need to quit going left so much.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as like iron game, I just got a new set of irons, and so I don't really know what my distances are at this point. Starting to just get more interested in consistent contact and ground interaction.
Okay.
I'd noticed like starting to pay more attention to like where the ball is hitting on the face.
Yeah.
And prioritizing actually hitting it out of the middle more often and understanding like what happens, why the ball doesn't do what you think it's supposed to do.
Fair enough.
And then when it comes to wedges, like I used to just always use the sand wedge, the 54 degree for like everything inside of 100, 110 yards. And I wasn't able to hold a lot of greens. I noticed last couple of years, like I said, the game doesn't travel because we have slower greens.
Yeah.
in Brookings, and I was able to get away with, just using that sand wedge. And so when I get it like a lob wedge or need to hold a green or get something to just sit, just have no feel with the 58.
Okay.
Stuff like that. And then putting, it's just a grab bag. I feel like it depends on how much I practice.
Right. Which is also, that's the game of golf, which is really tough. We have lives that isn't just golf, so it's hard to get out and practice and actually make a change.
So it's like, I figured I probably have a couple hours a week to practice if I were to take it seriously, and I just want to have an idea of, knowing what I should work on at a minimum given like that amount of time.
That's huge. So like on an average week, how many hours would you say you could put towards practicing golf? Like going to the golf course or whatever facility you have in your local region?
Well, I would imagine I could sneak away for like 3 to 4 times a week for at least 30 minutes at a time.
Okay.
Like
so
I'm
maybe
thinking
2 hours a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
is a good
enough
ballpark.
time to hit like 1 bucket of balls.
Okay. Fair enough. That's good to know. Okay.
So
this is all really good information from my standpoint, as I'm able to kind of put it together a little bit of a roadmap in my head of what he wants and how I can help him get there. But now it's a matter of, okay, let's see what he's got in the bag, what talent he's got, what he's putting out on the golf course basically. And now from that, I can maybe give him a little bit of intel as to what maybe needs a little bit more work from what I'm seeing, stuff he can work on, technique in the swing if that's an issue at all. But I think as the player, it's really hard to sit there on the range and go, am I supposed to be working on technique, or am I supposed to just be getting better and be target focused, trying to get the ball closer to the hole? Because that is inevitably the goal. The whole reason for fixing the technique is so that you can get it closer to the hole, right? And it's hard to decipher when and how to use those. And so I think as an instructor, it's very important to be clear when and how you go about that. And so today, I think that'll be something that we can give you on your road.
That would be great, because
and all those are basic
just like
things
little
too.
Basic things like that. It's like I need a refresher on what that should look like.
And I think that a lot of people overlook the really simple things. I think that's where, like, as a person like you who plays probably more even than the average golfer, a lot of the amateur golfers just overlook like the very easy things of getting set up right, having a good grip, where's the wind at? The simplest things that all of a sudden you hit a shot and it's like, why maybe you hit the shot because you came over the top and you sliced it, but you weren't even set up for what you were trying to do. And your brain subconsciously is still trying to get you to be target focused and get it somewhere close to your target. So I think that's good that you're aware of those things. So hit some more here. I'm gonna look at some video as we go about this. We're gonna get you going.
My biggest tendency has been to like move into the ball.
Okay.
And so
just
through watching like YouTube videos, I've been getting tips on like how to avoid that.
Okay.
But
when you say that you're doing that, is it because you're watching it and you're seeing it on video of yourself? You feel like you're doing it? You feel like you're getting, like some golfers would describe it as being stuck at impact?
Oh yeah. That just
feel?
happened. Like I feel like I have to throw it, and that's when I get like the toe dig.
Okay.
Because I can feel like I didn't rotate and stay back, so that I could just like have a regular release.
Okay.
It's like I feel like I had to, like I stood up, and I like went like that.
Okay. So from an instructor standpoint, we started using an app here at the Academy called OnForm, and so that's an app that I have on my phone, but I give it to the players, and so I actually already sent you a link since we have each other's numbers. Basically, that player goes on, logs in through the app, and it's a great way for them to track their own progress just on video. They are able to see the videos I take at lessons, the notes that I put in. So basically, at the end of this, when he gets his take-home stuff for what he's going to work on, I put all that in there. I also put all the information of the 1 or 2 things that I give you in your lesson as far as technique-wise that you can work on. But it's a great app for us to have good dialogue, and so he's able to go home, and a lot of players, again, you're one of the rare ones that gets to play that a lot of rounds in a given year. A lot of players, they go 1 or 2 weeks maybe without even playing, and so all of a sudden it becomes 2 weeks down the road and you're like, I totally forgot what I just went and spent an hour and $100 and whatever on, with any instructor. Okay, so it's a great way for you to go back on and see what happened, what do I need to work on, what does my practice plan look like, stuff like that.
Awesome.
And then he's also able to send me videos. So as he goes out and practices, he can text me through the app and be like, this is what I'm seeing. Do you have anything you'd recommend, or is this better, is this worse? And so us coaches, we check that every day. We're able to get back to people usually within 24 to 48 hours. So
cool.
It's a great way for us to do it. So the cool part about being in this facility, in this what we'd call a vacuum, right? We're not outside with any wind. We're hitting off a perfectly flat lie. We can really break things down. But on the screen, he's able to hit balls, watch where it goes. He's able to see all the numbers if he knows what they mean. But he's also he's able to see his own video. And so that's really good feedback for him as we work on things. Feel versus reality, what we talk about instructors, is huge. What feel sometimes feels like isn't really what's going on, and sometimes it has to feel out of this world different. But for me, with my phone and being able to take video, I'm able to look, that's for me to be able to look at and give you. This is for you to kind of observe things as we work on it. It gives you immediate feedback as to exactly what we're working on. And the beautiful part about being in this facility is we're able to use technology, and we're able to go outside and just be reactive to where the range is at, right? And so we'll do that a little bit today as well, depending on kind of what you need. But I think that's always healthy to be able to see, okay, this is what I'm doing versus feel versus reality, and then take it outside and know technology and just hit.
Put it in play.
Exactly. So right away, I want you to get set up. My favorite thing is, again, he already actually kind of covered it, is doing the simple things right. So making sure his grip is correct, making sure he's got a good stance, width, setup. Stuff that I'm seeing out of the player already is a little bit of ball position. And so the best thing as an instructor I like to do is I like to put basically a tee down with alignment sticks. And so in here, especially just inside for anybody, it gets really hard to aim, you know, just because we don't, you even asked me before we started, where am I aiming at?
Yeah, what's my
And
target?
it's like, you know, I see people come in and their feet are almost aimed to the left side of the screen thinking they're going straight, right? And so in the off season, being in South Dakota, I think it's a good thing to like revert back to and just start out with the basics of my grip, my aim, okay? Ball position, stuff like that. That's gonna be really helpful. So I put that stick down with this tee, with this vertical line in between your feet. I want the ball to be straight out in front of it, so you already got it. Now with your feet, I want your left foot to be ever so slightly closer than your right foot. So inevitably the ball is gonna be a little bit up in our stance, or closer to our left foot being a right-handed player. Your toes don't have to be on the horizontal line or your toe line there.
Okay.
Yep, just comfortable distance. I want you to hit some balls just with a different distance away from the ball for one, but a different placement of the ball in between our feet. Does it look or feel different right off the bat? Just naturally, it's a little bit closer to our left foot.
No, I actually think I like that. It more comfortable. I feel like I'm more comfortable with the ball further forward, but for some reason,
What tends to
I was
happen?
thinking that it was better to have it further back.
Okay. And actually for you as a player, so again, subconsciously, what's going to happen with you after watching some of it, just your video, and again, knowing you a little bit and watching your history, your face, and you actually already said it, your face angle moves around quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about why that is. But a lot of times when that happens, as you bring the club down, it's actually a lot easier for your specific swing to have the ball in the back of your stance and really shut the face and basically hit down on it. And it's going to be able to stabilize the face for you in more shots than not, versus if it's up in the stance really far, you're really going to feel like if you get stuck, you're really going to feel like you have to really hold on to that face for a very prolonged period of time. Fair enough?
So my swing type is consciously telling me to put it deeper.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
And we can get into why that is, but subconsciously that's what happens, and we'll see that through players off and on. And it's just cool to see. So it should feel like it's a little bit up in your stance, anywhere middle to a little bit up. Very good. So now I'll go through it on here so cameras can see it, and so Rich can also see it. So what I'm talking about here, and you can see it as, again, the player. So the very left number on the bottom here is the face angle, 5.2. And as he's hit a lot of these, they've kind of jumped around. But basically what a positive number on here means for a face, or for any of the numbers, a positive number is going to be pointed out to the right. Negative would be to the left. So his face angle is quite a bit open majority of the time. We get a 6, we got 1, we got 4, so we get some good shots. We get some a little bit open to the right shots. And you can see, again, the result takes place to the right when that gets really far open.
Yeah.
Okay? So from this video perspective, so what we'd call down the line, you can see now we're looking directly down the white stick in front of your toes, right? So when we're taking video, that's a great place to look from, about your hand height, where your hands are at. And so from there, what Rich likes to do is he likes to get this club behind him, and we'd say open. So if I pause this at this point in time, his toe of his club is going to be pointed a little bit more down to the ground. Okay? So inevitably, right off the bat, however he gets it up into the air, you get to a point where your face is open. Toe is pointed down to the ground. That's what that means. If the face was pointed up to the sky, be very closed. Okay? And so I think the number one place I love to start is the takeaway. Okay? The function of that, how that works, how you get it up to the top. Because inevitably, how you get the club up to the top affects how it comes back down majority of the time. Fair enough? And inevitably, this is also why you end up getting stuck. So the face is very open, and as you bring the club down very aggressively, okay, the face stays open, and you have to almost make a flick instead of actually making a good turn with your body. But you have no face stabilization to make the good turn with your body. Okay. Fair enough? Your also tendency, as I've watched you, is your club gets pointed ever so slightly across the line, meaning it's pointed over your head to the right. And that's perfectly fine if you can match that up. But as I've kind of watched, it doesn't help you as much as I think having the club in another spot would. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. So hit another couple here. I'm going to grab a few things that I think help get the feel of what we're trying to get down. Good. So now we got white and red lines. So red lines are going to be what's happening in the swing. White lines are just set up. Fair?
Okay.
Okay, I want you to get set up for me. So a lot of instructors have used balls in some way, shape, or form, but it controls a lot of what's going on in your arms and a lot of what's going on in your hands and wrists. And so I think it's a great way for players to just feel it. Okay, so we're going to put this ball in between his arms, and I want you to take a couple half swings, and we're going to kind of discuss what you're trying to feel and what you're going to try to do, but coming back here. So I want you to actually get set up to the ball and do it. So what he's trying to do is he's going to bring this club up into my hands, and he's not dropping the ball. That's number one. Number two, without even thinking about it, he's doing it actually very correctly, which is really cool to see. So go back down. His club, when he brings it back, is going to come right over this red line. His hands are also going to come directly over this red line. So instead of his hands being very much what we'd call tucked inside, so he turns the shoulders a lot and brings his hands very far inside, he's making a good stable takeaway. And his right hand is going to stay a little bit more on top of the golf club than his left hand or his glove hand. You can feel that difference? Yeah? Okay. And you can see as you do that, watch what happens. If I turn the face open, it's not what we want to do. That is what we want to do. Fair enough? Okay. So you're bringing hands back into me, club head out. Good. Very good. And there's going to be a little bit of wrist play, ever so slightly, so I kind of extended your right hand back. Okay? Or extended being like snap the right hand back ever so slightly. Very good. Okay, now I want you to just take the club up to the top of your backswing, so all the way up. Very good. Now, with your left hand, your glove hand, I want you to feel like it's ever so slightly more like that. To you as a player, it's going to feel like your left wrist stays very, very straight. Is that fair? The other way of thinking about it is in the takeaway, feeling like your left pinky supports the golf club, okay, and goes underneath it. So support would be underneath it, not supporting would be on top of the golf club. Yep. So something like that. So your left pinky's kind of wrapping underneath, and you can see now that forces the right hand to stay on top and stabilize the club face. Now as we turn our body, that's what we're feeling there.
Wow.
A little different?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. But what's really cool is that as you do this, like if we exaggerated this, it forces your elbow to actually come in and hold this ball together. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's challenging to maintain the ball pressure the higher I get.
Yeah, it is. And specifically in this case, so Rich, he's an athlete. He's been an athlete his whole life, and he also works out outside of golf, so he's a bigger guy. So as far as chest broadness with the ball, there's not a one-size-fits-all. There's a lot of things that very much help. In his case, you can push the ball down a little bit more into his forearm, but then it kind of affects the grip a little bit. But for broader-chested guys, this is a little bit different move for what they usually will have to feel. But the really big asset to Rich is that he's very mobile, and he's going to be able to make a really good turn. So he's going to be able to keep his hands and arms together. Some people that are broader chested, that don't make as good of a turn, now their arms start to get even more affected. Okay, so I want you to hit some half shots here, meaning just kind of like basically like on a clock, think about it like 9-3 or 10-2.
Okay.
And we're just going to beat some balls into the screen here.
I knew that was going to happen.
Why?
I don't know. Just every time I
Felt uncomfortable? Flip it around.
Every time you try to do a training aid, the first one goes
doesn't go good?
goes awry because you're thinking about other things. That's fine though.
There you go.
Get the hang of it.
Good shot. So your two things you're doing right now is not dropping the ball. The other thing is I really want you to feel like your left pinky supports the club or your left wrist stays straight, whatever thought makes sense to you. Fair enough?
Pinky support,
Ball ain't dropping.
straight wrist.
So that one to me looked like there
turn,
wasn't a whole
right?
lot of pinky support even.
Okay.
Okay? So do it again, come back down here. So we're feeling, basically feel like your left hand is pushing straight back, and there you go, getting to that. Now from here, your body's just gonna turn and your arms elevate.
Okay.
Good. So where's ball going? To the right, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so now our face has kind of gone the opposite of what we're looking for, which is just fine. So actually when you bring this club back, it's money. That's really, really good. As we get up to the top, that toe is pointing ever so slightly down.
That's good?
Yeah, that's really good.
Sweet.
So now it's a matter of learning what to do on the downswing.
Yep.
Okay, I want a few more of these. You can also see what does it look like as far as where the club's pointed. It's not as far pointed to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Yeah, it looks deeper.
Deeper, club's pointing down kind of our target line.
See, that one actually felt kind of comfortable.
Okay.
Still don't feel like I'm making a golf swing or using my legs. But
So now I want you to go up to the top of your backswing and pause when you're ready. Simple things, right? Very good. Okay, so that's money. That's really good. So now bring the club down slowly, okay? And I'm gonna do this to you. So if I turn the club this way, I want you to do the opposite. I want you to turn against me. Now swing into the ball. Turn it against me. Turn it against me. Like twist your hands this way. As you're, like if I'm gonna turn the toe this way, I want you to do the opposite. So twist against me. There you go. Very good. Does that feel different than what you've done?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So go on up. So give me, what does that feel to twist against me there? Yeah. Oh. That's all right. What does that image look like to you as far as the wrists go? To me, that looks like your left hand is cupped instead of straight.
okay.
So that's the gist, is at the end of the day, the takeaway is to help you stabilize the face and get into a good spot, and you maintain that the whole time. It doesn't become let it go, find it again, flip.
Right.
It becomes like left wrist is straight, bring it down, it's still straight, my body's turning as this is all staying the same. Yeah, that's perfect. for stuff for you to take home and do, I think one, just like as you go out and hit balls, I think the best thing you can possibly do is right away when you're just getting warmed up, is just work on the takeaway. Like make sure that's solid, right? That's like for you now, I feel like as you get set up, if you got a good stance, ball position, grip, everything's solid, the easy thing is just a solid takeaway.
Throw this down?
Yeah, something exactly like this. As you go in now, like hit balls in the range, like technique-wise, literally you're hitting half shots. Like from here where your left wrist is straight, and you're using your body as the motor to hit these shots instead of, okay? The big one for you is looking at like your wrist, is literally getting to that point where you're like, all right, being very methodical about, okay, how much is my wrist bent? Because that now is going to affect the face.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Get used to that feel.
Yeah. As you go out and play and perform and, you know, have fun, obviously, the biggest one is like just exaggerate that while you're playing. I think that's the easiest thing. Is I think in the world of golf, everybody like is like so like, all right, the best players play with like nothing going on in their mind when they're playing at the best. It's not true at all. Some of them might have something that's very simplified, but at the end of the day, I think if you watch the Masters and you sat on the range there's people having training. Yeah, they're grinding because it's not always perfect, right? We're not always Scotty Scheffler #1 in the world. So it's like, okay, what can be something that's simplified while I go out and play that lets my mind be free? And I think a lot of people, it's like, okay, my goal as I come out here is to shoot 45. Okay, well, if I'm gonna go shoot 45 on 9 holes, how does that happen, right? You might bogey every hole, but that looks a little bit different on every hole. You might hit the fairway every single time, but miss the green or whatever it is, right? So I would break that down further into every single shot needs to have a goal of, I need to feel this.
Yep.
Regardless of if the result is good or not, that's how you change, is having that set of, okay.
To focus on that.
Yeah, like
No
my ball's
cupping.
gonna go there, but to do that, I have to do something closer a little bit to me of what I'm doing. Fair enough?
Yeah, it feels crazy to even think about closing the face.
Yeah.
That felt so correct.
And you closed it pretty well, quite a bit. Like definitely your face stays open, but from where it could be, like if our handle's working out towards the ball and then we're getting stuck and flipping the ball, you could have a way bigger miss. So it shows that you've played golf for a while and you've really tried super hard to get this in the right spot. But at the end of the day, it's a solid takeaway. So go up and do that again. So go up and you just kind of brought this down like this again. So it's got to be up. Now watch the club. There.
Wow.
Okay. And now from here, it's hitting balls from here with your left wrist straight, club closed, and turning the corner with your body to there.
Okay.
Is that fair?
From here?
Yeah. And you can do this on the ground. Actually, a really good drill, like on the range to do, is put an alignment stick directly in front of you. So you have like the ball, an alignment stick, and then your pin that you're aiming at, and try to beat the alignment stick in front of you. Try to hit it with your ball. And that's going to give you face direction right off the bat of if I'm going to the right, if I'm going to the left.
Really?
Your tendency is going to be to the right.
Hit the stick.
Hit the stick. You want to beat that stick. Break it.
Okay. Sweet.
Fair enough?
That's enough to work on for one.
Sound good?
For me.
Okay, let's hit a few outside. So now basically outside he's being reactive, right? So he's trying to just, we got our feels for inside. Now let's see what the ball's actually doing. So go up, and we're gonna do these half swings. So come on back down here. Now look at that left wrist. I want this Mizuno logo away from you. Yep. Do it again. And even if we didn't have an alignment stick, let's say we're out here, like let's pick the red flag or something, right? We wanted to start, just for the sake of this, we wanted to start at that red flag and not do a whole lot of curving off that red flag. Where'd it start?
A little right of it.
Exactly. And as you go play, that's you as the dialogue in your mind as a player is going, okay, like, I know what I got going on. I got it. All right, I hit it a little bit to the right. That's a little bit of the old. There you go, that's different.
Holy crap.
It's different. Heck yeah. A little
Started
close.
left. My feet were in the same spot, so I didn't cheat. The Mizuno logo away makes sense.
Okay, I'll put that in the notes.
Are you kidding me?
You're just exuding positivity.
Hey, I think we found it here. Close, but that one went a little bit right. There's definitely a lot less variability going on.
That's good, and that's what we want. Your body's starting to stabilize the
That's
face
that's the
instead of your
actual
hands.
that's the actual objective that we were targeting.
Yes.
Is face consistency.
All right, so we just wrapped up outside. So we got kind of the inside, the feels, the outside, like what we're seeing. I think it's a little bit easier to see it outside when it's flying, right?
First couple shots out here, it was much easier to kind of visualize, and we got the glove logo point away. I mean,
And that's huge,
that
like
plus
the dialogue
ball, I mean,
there.
those couple of drills are just going to be.
Yeah, the dialogue though, like for your feedback to me is like that one makes sense. I'm a logo facing the way, left hand feel type guy. Like that's huge, because if I'm saying something else that doesn't connect, right? So now on his app, I sent him already kind of what he's doing, but as far as the feels go, we're working a little bit on face control, as you guys all just kind of watched, but he's got his feels for that, and so I put them in there. Like what he just said, the Mizuno logo on his glove facing away is a huge one for him. Drills for him to do is hitting half shots of learning where the club is at and learning how to turn our body by maintaining that, hitting a stick in front of
And the
us,
ball
right?
has to start left.
Yes, exactly. More left of what you're feeling, for sure.
Right.
So an alignment stick in front of him in the ground out on the range is a great way to get some feedback off of where the ball is exiting out off of. So in his app, I put, that's the drill he's working on. Then I gave him also a challenge. So now he's got to take 10 balls out on the range, and 3 of them have to hit the stick. And once you get that, then go 5, and then go 7. And like that's how you up that, right? Try to get to the point if you can hit 7. That's impressive.
Okay.
But that's a great way to challenge you. Now it gives you a little bit of a practice of what am I doing? What am I trying to feel? How do I implement that on the range in practice? And then also the last thing I incorporated in his notes of if he goes out and plays, keep it simple. Really simple, right? Think about one thing. And for him, I think the really big one is what the glove is doing, what his Mizuno logo is feeling, what he's seeing. That's all what he as a player is trying to implement as he goes out and plays. And then as you play, whether you do it or not, that's success, not the results of the golf ball every time.
Sure.
Fair enough?
Process-oriented goal.
Exactly. Fair enough?
Yep.
Pleasure working with you, man, yeah?
Appreciate it.